In Ontario, there are nearly 545,000 people who can't afford food, with more than 50% of them being children. How does this food insecurity pose an issue to the physical health of students? How does it hinder the performance? Let us hear it from a few representatives at John Fraser Secondary School.
Hello, my name is Joshua Samadin, and I am the senior boys basketball captain. I'm here with my two colleagues, Akbar and Abdul, and they're helping me to create a brand new nutrition plan for the team, due to the fact that we had lost our last game because we were malnourished. Nutrition is a big part in sports, because without nutrition, you can't function. As Miss Lamb had taught us in an exercise science, nutrition is a key in success and winning.
Important for the health of many athletes. In basketball, it's important to have proper nutrition because your mind needs the energy and focus to function in the game, as it's a very high-paced game.
Why do people get canned food? Why do people even sometimes opt for frozen food or food discarded by supermarkets? What effects could this potentially have on us? Let's see what a student of John Fraser has to say about this.
Because people can't afford normal food, they go for these canned and packaged types of foods. But I don't think that's the right way to go. They won't provide the necessary nutrients that your body needs, and you might even end up in the hospital. Now, for people who can't afford that either, it's basically they can't live. Like, you need food. Food is the most important thing that your body needs at any point in time. And if you're not getting the basic necessity that is food, you're practically just dead. The governments of any country, be it Canada or be it any third world country, should have at least the basic food necessities like maybe wheat or rice or any basic thing that's like important for the body. The government should provide them at a subsidized price or even free to people who can't afford them. It's simple. Eat well, live well.
Spreading awareness is the first and foremost step which we have to take to eradicate this problem. But is it ignorance which is blinding our public from these issues, or are they aware of it? Let's take a look at this.
People do you think suffer from food insecurity in our country of Canada?
And I think in the country Canada it'll be pretty low because it's a pretty developed country, like 5% maybe.
I think 10%.
I think it's about 15%.
As a safe estimate, I'd say about 10%.
Say about 3%.
You realize it's 12.5%, right?
Oh, well, that's exceptionally high.
It's surprising.
See, I know it's not as high as you'd expect, like from a third world country.
If you compare to like developing nations like India, Brazil, or Mexico, I'm pretty sure their insecurity rate is higher, like 20-25%.
Why do you think it's like this?
I'm not sure.
Well, the cost of purchasing food and other commodities in Canada is pretty high if you compare them to the US.
Because the government and the country itself has better infrastructure and better facilities to care for their people. But then again, it also makes sense because of like the many stringent and restrictive procedures they follow here, and essentially that causes a lot of people who immigrate essentially to not get a successful job or a well-paying job.
Minimum wage is not really enough to sort of sufficiently feed a family,
and that causes them to become unemployed and not provide for their families. So it might still be like 10 or 12%, but it's still a significant amount because of all these factors.
It is now up to our modern generation, the students, to take this situation in hand and kind of bring an end to it. But how do these students do it? How do they propagate the awareness from one student to another and bring an end to poverty and hunger once and for all?
Many people are unaware of how many underprivileged children there are during this winter season. Children deprived from warmth and food, which is why I decided to increase awareness by doing things like underdressing as a way of sympathizing and attracting curiosity. Our group also spent a few days mid-December collecting food, reusable clothing, school supplies, etc. There are many charitable movements people could join to help each other. Easiest being online donations up to volunteering time helping the families directly. Youth are getting more involved nowadays, which is pretty hopeful for the future. Perhaps we'll even break the cycle of poor people staying poor.